All right, and we can get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another Broker Connect. These happen once a month. They usually are the first week of every month on Thursday at 4 o'clock. So we're going to kick it off. You are all muted right now, but when questions are open, please feel free to unmute yourself or type in a question into the chat and I will read it aloud. So Harish, would you like to introduce our guests?
He's muted.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thanks, Brianna, and welcome everyone. Thank you for everyone's participation. And I want to thank my speakers today, my hosts. We have an all-women panel, which is exciting, first time. So we do this Broker Connect to meet the community and look at how our users are using the platform, anything we can learn from them. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. This will be a conversational session. I'll maybe spend a few minutes. Our hosts need no introduction, but I know Mo longer than Tashara, so I'll start with her. So she joined ARIVE platform, I believe, in October, and she founded from AIMFuse, is what she was telling me. And she's based out of Arizona. She's a power broker. She never thought she can leave KLX. Is that what she was telling me? And here we are. So she is exclusively using ARIVE to run her company. She has 2 branches. So we'll hear from her what she has to say.
Sure. Thank you, Krish.
So yeah, why don't you go? Maybe for Tashara, she's based out of California. That's where we are also based out of, in the beautiful city of Coachella, if I pronounce
Yes.
that correctly. She's also one of our power users. She was a speaker at AIMFuse recently. But again, welcome. Thank you so much for doing this for us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank
So
you.
go ahead, Mo. Why don't we start with you? You're more older to ARIVE, if you will. So
Sure. I joined ARIVE. My name's Amorette Hernandez. I go by Mo the Mortgage Lady, so you can call me Mo. I joined ARIVE in 2020, but I was still on Calyx. So I was just, tipping my toe in the world of ARIVE. So when all of the, let's just call it Calyx bust happened in 21, it really forced the full integration. So I was already using ARIVE to do my my POS. So it was already my point of sale. I had already customized my questions, my client needs at that time. So when the Calyx bust happened, it was just an easy slip into just completely living in that world. I've been in the mortgage industry with Arizona Lending Specialist. Arizona Lending Specialist formed here in Arizona in 2003, and I joined my partner, Paul DeSanctis, in 2005. So been on the broker side for quite a while. I considered Calyx, the be all end all until ARIVE. And like I've said, in multiple occasions, ARIVE has completely changed my business. So much so that it actually makes me faster. And we're using it to, I hope, almost its fullest extent, but proud to be here and be part of this with Tashara as well.
great. So Tashara, yourself? I think you're on mute.
I am. So I'm Tashara Turpin. I live in California, Southern California. I have been in the mortgage business as a loan officer for the last 17 years and a broker for the last 7 years now, I believe. One of the things I really hated about working for somebody else is I had no control over the programs that I was able to use. I've used Calyx ever since I started. That's all I ever knew. And I kept hearing all these other platforms coming out, and Calyx is a dinosaur basically compared to like what all these other things can do. But I never wanted to step outside my comfort zone and try to learn something else. I think we get to the point, in our careers, we're like, okay, well, I'm comfortable. I know how to run numbers in Calyx. but that's about it. That's really all it really does. It doesn't do anything else. So I paid for all these other different programs to try to get a more streamlined process. But I was paying for like 7 different things, that, just to make up for one thing that ARIVE does. So Brianna went over to ARIVE and she's like, hey, you never, thought about checking it out? I'm like, yeah, I hate Calyx. Same thing like Mo, like when the whole transition came over with the, you know, the point files and stuff, like they just couldn't get up to par, and they couldn't get up to speed, and like it didn't seem like they even wanted to, you know. So I looked into it, and I think the first thing I did before I joined is I joined the ARIVE Facebook group. And what really sold me on ARIVE was not just all the cool things that it does and like how it like streamlines the processes, and you can get rid of all those other systems that you're using because it's all consolidated into one. But the one thing that really like sold me on it was Harish. And the reason why I know Harish and the reason why, you guys, is anything you want implemented. Like say, you know, you're in there and you're like, wow, you know what, it would be really cool if we could just, you know, click this button here and it'll copy and paste and like put it over here. Anything that you want changed or implemented, or you think it would be for the better of ARIVE, all you have to do is just say, hey, Harish, I have an idea, do this. I'm serious. A day or two, maybe it might take a little bit longer if it's something a little bit more complicated, but he will implement it for you. Like, it's just super cool to be able to talk to the creator of a program and like kind of, you know, brainstorm with him on how to make things better. And like, he really wants to know, the feedback. He wants to know the user trials and errors and like what's, you know, frustrating and what's working right and what's not working right. He really cares. And he really wants to make this something to where we can get rid of all those other platforms and save money and be able to have a streamlined process all in one place. So that's what sold me.
Yep. Same.
You know, as I mentioned, I have a pretty amazing team that works with me.
Definitely.
24/7, we are trying our best to kind of make sure we are serving our community, but it's super exciting to be a part of this. So
yes,
that's what drives all of us. So
absolutely.
And even the interaction from other brokers who are already, you know, seasoned users, it's really great how they also share in the community, in the Facebook group. To be honest, I'm just like Tashara, I'll go there and I'll search to see if someone else has already had that question or that scenario. And then I will educate myself, or I'll try their solutions. And then if I still can't, I'll ask. And it's amazing how fast people jump in. I love that. And you're right, Tashara, we do not have that kind of community with any other vendor. No. I don't care who it is. We don't have this community. Exists primarily because of how you've nurtured it. Your team has nurtured it, and it's amazing. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, anybody who uses Kalex now knows if you have an issue, you have to call their 1-800 number, and good luck with that. It's a voicemail like every single time, you know? So super frustrating, man. I'll never look back. I don't care.
It's true. It's true. Even the speed of everything that we're able to do.
Right.
Absolutely.
Talk about that, Mo. Tell them what it does.
So before, when I was living in the Kalex world still, I had Kalex, and then I also had Loan Sifter. And to be honest with you, Loan Sifter, yeah, it's great. It has, you know, over 100 lenders on there. I'm not signed up with over 100 lenders. I have my top 10, top 15 for whatever the needs are of the customer. And luckily, a huge percentage of our lenders that we were already using integrated immediately with ARIVE. So it wasn't long before I canceled my subscription, because to be very honest, I found myself still living in the world of Kalex, where I had to have Kalex open, I had to have Loan Sifter open, I had to still double check with the lender to make sure that what Loan Sifter was telling me was really in the lender's portal.
Your pre-approval apps.
Yes, all of that. And then when we transitioned over 100% into ARIVE, I only have ARIVE open. I still have, because I'm, you know, still in Trello, I still have my Google spreadsheet. I'm trying to consolidate, and I know more amazing things are coming down the road, but that's it. I don't have, like, you know, to have all of these other windows open. So just the speed of being able to have the customer in the portal right there. I can put my notes in the same place. I can send pre-approvals from there. I can send loan quotes. I don't have to constantly re-engineer what I've done. The speed of it is just amazing. And then being able to include the realtor in there, it's like one-stop shop. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It really has made me a lot faster.
You could send all of your pre-quals right through the system. Like as soon as you do the application on your borrower, you can put in where, you know, the agent's information, whatever. As soon as you get it pre-approved, there's a little button, you click pre-approved. You can generate the letter right there, and it'll pop up an email window, and it'll have all their email information right then and there, and it'll just send it off to them automatically.
One thing that I thought was really cool that even is a new feature inside of ARIVE is that you can link up your Loom videos too. And it's really awesome because that is something that I picked up from Brokers Are Better, and I implemented it to where I'm doing a video going over the loan estimate the initial fee sheet from ARIVE, so that they know to use that to compare to whatever other quotes they're getting.
Yes.
So because I'm able to embed that video into that same email, I don't have to send 2 emails anymore, because that's what I was doing before. So even that was something that, came, I believe, through an idea from the Facebook group. They implemented it, and it's like amazing. Let's roll with it. So it's really, really good.
Let's talk about the fact that you can do several different scenarios and email them all in it's a very easy to understand and read format. It gives a breakdown of payment, how much is to principal, interest, whatever it else. And it gives you could do different 15, 20, whatever different kind of programs or whatever. And it gives emails it all in a nice little template. It's just super duper easy.
And what's really cool is when I did make the transition, because I used to do, okay, guys, I'm a dinosaur, GFEs. I used to do the loan estimate, the fee sheet through Calix. And when I know, right? And when I first made the transition over, one of the first comments that I received, because I had a pre-approved buyer who was still getting, or who had previously received an ALI from my Calix PDF, and then received an ARIVE initial fee sheet, the first comment I got was, "Oh my gosh, so pretty. This is in color. Wow, your picture's on it, your logo's on it." So it just elevate us. I really believe that no matter how big or how small your company is, we're a broker shop of 5 people. And it looks like we're big dogs. They definitely give us the power to look and present just like the best of them. Actually, we are the best of them.
We are. Everything's branded, you guys. Everything you send out to your clients, everything that you generate into ARIVE or you generate from ARIVE is branded with if you want your picture, your logo, your information, phone number, email, whatever it is, it's all branded to you.
The integration of it is amazing. We have now, because of communication and comments from the community, the Facebook community, we are now collecting conditions through there as well. I saw somebody make a comment about it on the the ARIVE for Broker community page. I talked to our processor about it, our assistant, and I said, let's try it. We literally yesterday went through 3 files, prepped them all for conditions requested through the underwriting system, put them into ARIVE, created a need, literally got everything we needed from the borrower last night. You can't it can't get easier than that. You know what I mean? The old way of, I will share, because of the old school, methodology that I was living under, I used to have templates for everything, what to do here and what to do there, and if this, then that. And because we have that integration with ARIVE and we can collect everything in one spot, we literally just have to tweak our client needs. Done.
And it's really that easy. It is. You send your application link from ARIVE to your customer. They fill it out, they send it back. They can upload their own documents into ARIVE. It gives you an email notification that their application's finished and they've uploaded their documents, and then you're ready to start working on that approval. I mean, it's just super duper streamlined. You just can't go wrong. For me, I don't know how many people here use UWM, but they're one of my favorite lenders because of this reason exactly. The process is just so easy and so streamlined. And I feel like ARIVE is the UWM of right? Of the LOS platform. I really feel like that.
It's true. One of the things that I think in that Harish was asking us about our process, even before, I used to have a paper notebook that I would do my pre-interview with everybody before I even put their stuff into Calix. So I had my script. I'm have you filed for bankruptcy in the last 7 years, blah, blah, blah. And now, because of the client needs and the way that we can structure our, we can basically personalize ARIVE to be what we want it to be. Like those questions that come up a lot in my market, in our community, one, I will even tell you this, like, I'm about to create a client need that says, if your bank statements have super large deposits, can you call me first? Like, you could even do that. You know what I mean? Like, it is so customizable. You know, a lot that has happened with the pandemic is we have a lot of people who have side gigs. And I would rather know upfront that I'm going to get bank statements that have like thousands of dollars of deposits that are coming in and be able to address them right away. Yeah, like it's just amazing. Solar, you know, stuff like that, stuff that isn't normally part of the transaction or the conversation, maybe, especially on a refi. It's definitely something that just helps us get as much upfront, front load as much as possible to make the rest of the process that much easier.
And let's just talk about the fact that, you know, you could run DU. I mean, you could with Calyx as well,
Gosh,
but you could run DU right through there. You can submit to the lender right through ARIVE. And one of the things that I really, really love, and I haven't used it yet, but I'm gonna use it for this upcoming quarter, is you know, you can do all of your NMLS call reports right from there. Like, you can pull all the information from ARIVE and put it right into the NMLS website.
Yep.
So it does your reporting for you too. So,
you know, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I will say that we do have certain lenders that are still using Encompass. And I love that ARIVE will allow you to register through ARIVE. So it just helps get your foot in the door so that you're not like banging your head on the wall with, you know, uploading into Encompass for the first time. So the fact that we can get a loan number immediately and be able to, you know, hand it off to our processor to order out all of the vendor items. That's amazing to me too, because then the assistant doesn't have to wait until I have patience to get into Encompass.
Right. And not only that, but just from a processor's aspect, like, you know, how many of you guys have your processors, like, they're having to go and like submit to all these different lenders, you know, and like with every lender, you have to learn their portal, like you have to learn their submission process. But like, if you're submitting through ARIVE, like, they just have to learn how to do that, and that's it. So you're cutting down on their workload as well, you know?
100%. As a matter of fact, that's something that we went through last night, Lisette and I, and we talked about how now that we're using custom features, that we're also going to create those particular verbiages. And that way we can work it once, figure it out, and just
then you're set. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, ladies, real quick, John has raised his hand for a question. Go ahead, John, what you got?
Thanks, Brianna. Just to kind of tag on those two comments about UWM is really pushing and has a phenomenal CRM, PPE, everything is in that. Blink 360, it does everything that I really need for it to do. I came from Point, I hate Point. At a bank, we went over to Encompass, maybe a little bit better, but I've been very impressed. I've only been with ARIVE. Well, I've only been with ARIVE for about 5 days. I did a trial, and it's got a lot of neat bells and whistles. And I do like the functionality that Tashara had mentioned about, you know, having one system to do it. The question I have is, are you guys processing to go in from Blink, UWM that's been transferred over? I'm sorry, that's been transferred. That's been transferred over to ARIVE, or are you working straight out of ARIVE from the initial
That's a good question. So I mean, I'm going to be honest for myself. I never used Blink, and the reason why, and it's nothing against UWM or anything like that, but I'm very protective of my information and my clients' files. And I just always felt like if there was ever anything that happened where I didn't use UWM anymore, like I would lose all my contacts and all my files and stuff like that. So I would rather pay to have it outside of a lender. That way I have control over it and I can keep it, and I don't have to worry about getting it from somebody if something happens. So that's why I choose not to use it. So I work directly through ARIVE.
Okay.
And the same for me. So John, I used to use Blink, and I switched from Blink to ARIVE in 2020 when I cruised ARIVE myself and cruised through Blink, and I noticed the customer facing difference. ARIVE is much, in my opinion, ARIVE was much more user friendly. So I stopped using Blink, and then I made the complete switch when the customization of the client needs came to the table. So that's when I was like, okay, I don't even need Blink at all. So yeah, I go from A to Z, everything inside of ARIVE.
Right. And it's not to say
Okay.
anything bad about Blink. It's
No.
not that. It's just more having the control over your client's information and contacts. Because I mean, we all know, like, you know, just because we're partnered with the lender doesn't mean that that partnership's always going to be there. Like, things
Right.
happen, and you know, you might not want to work with UWM anymore, or maybe they choose not to work with you anymore. And then at that point, then what? Like, they have all of your stuff and like you don't have it. So I'm just very protective of my files. So I just like to have that control, and I'd rather have it in ARIVE and just do everything through there. It just seems easier for me.
Well,
And if-
from an originator standpoint, unfortunately, ARIVE, even though they have current pricing, there's certain elements that have, sorry, they have certain pricing. I can do custom pricing. I've got all, I gather all my stuff. I sort of pre-process before I even submit a file. I kind of know where it's going to go. And so that custom pricing is not available in ARIVE. So I did basically 22 days. I get a free 5 days. I get UWM perks. And so basically I got another, probably on a $400,000 deal, another $400 of lender credit that I can give back to my borrower. It just got origination first, and not, and again, because I process files too, I see both the origination side and the processing side.
So
Well, oh, sorry.
so you should be able to price, if that the question was correct. You can do 22 today. You can do all kinds of combinations for UWM in ARIVE. Were you asking that, or partner points? So yes, you don't get partner points if you use ARIVE, but you'll be able to do custom locks, custom dates, custom MI. All that is available.
Well, I'm sorry, Harish, I didn't see that. All I saw were in the pricing, because I get those perk points, I actually get additional pricing betterments because I use UWM, and those aren't shown up in ARIVE.
Yes.
Yesterday I locked the loan. It was at 15-year 1.818. What was showing on the yields, the rate sheet was 2%. And so basically, again, on a sizable loan, it benefited my borrower to be able to price that exactly what 22 days. And again, I just have another 5 days free in UWM. That's not shown in ARIVE.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, so John, I'm a self-originator, and also I can be a self-processor as well. So I know what you're talking about in regards to just trying to keep it contained. If I may make a suggestion, because it sounds like when your customer is coming in and you are structuring the deal, you're pretty solid on where you're gonna go. I will tell you that the fact that you can collect everything in ARIVE and do your conditions through ARIVE and order your vendor services through ARIVE will actually cut down on some of your processing time and you having to toggle, back and forth. I don't know if when you get your condition list from UWM, if you are then creating templated emails, et cetera. So I would say give it a test drive, because it sounds like you already know from the get-go where you're going. So once you submit the file to your lender, in this case, UWM, then you can get your specific locked.
That's what I do.
don't know about the rest of that portion, but I would highly suggest taking a look, because it sounds like if that's something that's interesting to you, you're just lacking maybe that pricing point.
That.
I don't know, just
Connecting
something.
those. Yeah. But
Okay.
I believe that's something that Brianna and Harish can help you with, though.
Yeah, so I think
like
I'll
I
take it
said-
offline. So there is a custom pricing you can do. It's little hidden. You have to open a box and put some data sets that will actually give you your specific pricing. So maybe we can try to connect offline, but it should be available. Everything in UWM is copied over to us from a pricing standpoint. So we should have everything they have in their ease system. So
Nice.
Okay, well, we'll follow up on that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Anybody else have questions? Anybody want to know anything about ARIVE, what it does?
So maybe I'll ask a question as others, unless Brianna, is there any other question you think has come from audience before
Hey, I had a question.
Go ahead, Marshall. So
Hey, thanks, guys. So I had put a note in the Facebook group, but I didn't see anything yet. Does ARIVE auto remind the clients, like when I send out the needs list of the documents that I need, does it automatically remind them the next day if they haven't sent the documents in yet?
Absolutely. Yes,
It does.
we sure do.
Where do I find those settings?
I'm not in ARIVE right now, but
I
at the
know, neither
top
am I.
somewhere, I know, I can't, I'm not looking at it, so I can't tell you, but it's somewhere on the top, there's like a toolbar and you can
Mhm.
customize those settings in there.
Yeah, and you can customize the amount of times that you're
Yeah, how long, how often, yeah.
Mhm.
so it's a little hidden, as everybody said, but yes, it'll remind them and politely bug them every morning that docs
Yes.
are pending or app is
A
outstanding.
gentle reminder.
Yeah. And we love it because then we don't have to remind ourselves to do it. You know, it is literally the set it and forget it. That is wonderful to have. There's a lot of things in our industry that shouldn't be set and forget. But when it comes to chasing conditions or requesting docs, 100% the borrower needs as many reminders as possible, because the sooner that they can get us what we need, the sooner we can give them keys.
Yep.
We have a question from Matthew. Go ahead, Matthew, unmute yourself.
Hi there. So my question is, I've had ARIVE for a couple months now, and I'd be using it more, but I've been having some technical problems with it and haven't been able to get it to work properly. And I've mentioned it multiple times. So anyway, I'm not trying to be negative in the meeting, but just for instance, if I send somebody the quote, if they click apply now, it takes them to Nexa's general round robin thing. It doesn't, it's worthless to be able to collect an app on it. And so anyway, I really need to get that fixed. I haven't, I've submitted several requests. I don't know if everybody else, do you use the ARIVE 1003 app? Do you send out your link
Yeah.
for ARIVE?
Yes.
Yeah, because if I do that, it's just going straight to round robin at Nexa, because it's not, they got it in there and fixed it one time, but then now it's back to, so it could have tricked me. But if somebody applies, it's going to go to some of the loan officers.
Harish, is that a company setting?
Yeah.
No, so first of all, I'm sorry this happened, but it should actually pick your link. So maybe again, as a follow-up, Matthew, I'm going to go and research if you send a request. And
I mean, I'd love for the thing to work great. The other thing is, in the video that I watched, it shows how you can turn off, things to not trigger RESPA, right? As soon as the application, full application comes in, and I'm not able to do that either, because that's, apparently a company setting. So I'm not able to adjust that. So does everybody else automatically trigger RESPA every time you get or TRID every time you get?
I have an admin, so because we have our, the way that we're set up, I have admin over both of our locations, and on both of those locations, because I'm an admin, I can make those changes. So I wonder, and I'm only speaking off the hip here, but I wonder if, because it's, I think you said Nexa, and it's such a large company, I wonder if there's something that you can do individually in your user. Otherwise, that sounds like you'd need to, like Harish said,
I can't do it.
Yeah,
and nobody's been able to help me. So it's like, now I'm paying for what's the another one to collect the app and then be able to send out all the emails and do all that stuff. So anyway, just because if somebody applies on one of my quotes, I'm not getting it for one. That's a big problem.
That's a big
problem. The other problem is triggering RESPA every time I get an complete app.
Matthew, if you need time, like I said, I know Tashara is also the admin for her. So if you need like a viewpoint, obviously you can lean on.
I can't edit the settings. I don't have the permission. And
Because
so
he's
what
not-
they're
yeah.
saying, what they're saying is that the admin is Mike Cordes. Mike Cordes isn't gonna respond to these emails. So
I got it.
so
Because
I'll
Next is a
probably-
huge company, so they don't get to customize their stuff. It's done for them.
Ouch.
I'm an admin. How do I turn that off? Those triggers.
So maybe I'll say, so Matthew, we made 6 or 7 reps at Nexa admins. So was it Lauren who was?
well, hold on. So maybe a solution is if I can just collect an app and blink and then transfer the 3.4 file over, you know.
You'll lose a lot of information. There's no, I mean, whatever you're saying is solvable. So as I said, maybe give us another few hours. But
I need it
have other-
solved, please. Please,
Yeah,
please,
so-
please.
the whole purpose
We're
gets-
rooting for you, Matthew. We want you to do those apps
Thank you.
yourself. We don't.
I
want you
believe
to
that
do
Harish and
it.
Brianna is gonna get that fixed for you. I
Yeah.
believe it.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Matthew, I'm going to look for your email and we will send you an email with the resolution to help you out.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Kyle has a question. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I might just be missing it. I just got on like last week and I'm really getting into it now. But is there a integration with like Account Check or Plaid to be able to do the electronic asset verification?
So maybe I'll take that and then anybody else. So yes, we have talked to all these vendors to collect automation. The lenders won't accept them because we work with different partners. So UWM will not accept Plaid. Agencies will not. So there's a mix and match, if you will, in the wholesale world. But yes, we are. So Form Free is the one which we might connect with. Again, it's not a commitment because they are
Gotcha.
most widely used. I mean, we can enable this. We can give you some numbers, but you'll be spending $15, $20, but the underwriters won't accept that. Does it
Right, that
make
makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, we live in this wholesale world where every lender thinks or knows. which
I
one-
gotta take the good with a little bit of bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but great question. I think I've been looking at that for around 6 months. How do we bring some automation from an asset collection? At least that's the simplest one to do. So.
Can I just answer that question real quick? Mo and I both came from Calyx.
Yes.
And we will never look back. Like I could
No.
not wait to break up with them. Like I was gonna sing them the Taylor Swift song, I swear, but they wouldn't pick up the phone. So
Well, my partner, Paul, he kept one seat. I think 1 or 2, only because we have so much data over there.
right.
That's
I did
really,
too.
yeah, that's the only thing that we
Mhm.
have. But I mean, other than that, you're right. Like we said, sayonara, see you never.
Yeah, I was so happy. I never have to call their tech support line again and wait for like hours on the phone.
100%. Yeah.
Mo, we had somebody in, what's it called, in the chat ask, is anybody use Calyx? He's afraid to make the transition. This might be a good time to bring your new employee in.
Oh yeah.
Speak really quickly about that transition.
Sure.
Does anybody else have questions?
Okay.
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay.
Representing.
All things, yeah, I love it. Things are the
So
best.
this is Lisette.
Aw.
She's our new
Oh, good.
admin. She's our new assistant here, and we're super excited. And what I wanted to share is that she came from a medical background where she worked front and back. So she knows all of the ins and outs of why things have to be done in order for them to be passed on. So by putting her, never touching Calyx, by putting her straight into ARIVE, it has flowed very nicely for her. And I'll let her share what we experienced last night.
I love it. I love the client needs part of it. The customization part of it is amazing. It's super easy to use, so it's definitely user friendly.
Yes.
And it's very easy to navigate the whole system. Everything is where it should be. It makes sense. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and she had 0 experience. So for those of us and you who asked that question about leaving Calyx, just like Tashara said, it's a comfort zone and you have to be willing to step out of it. but rest assured, you're gonna land softly. Arrive is nice and fluffy. It's gonna take care of you. It's nothing scary, and Lisette absolutely loves it.
Yes.
And can I just add, I'm sorry, Lisa, I'm so sorry. I'm so
No,
sorry, I totally cut you off. I just want to say really quick that Harish and Brianna are there and you've got that community. So don't be afraid, because if you have questions, you need help, you have a whole entire community of people who are already using it. And Harish and Brianna and some other admins that they have, they're in that Facebook group all the time. So, I mean, you're not going through it alone. So
Yeah.
if you're afraid to make that switch, don't be afraid, because like with Calyx, you had no training at all. So at least here you'll have training, you'll have backup, you'll have people to ask questions to. If you need things implemented, you have ideas for changes, Harish, Brianna, and their team, they're there to do that for you. So I'm sorry, Lizette, back to you.
No, that's okay. And honestly, to the person who asked that question, I mean, let me pay it forward. If anybody here, and Brianna knows it because she tags me on the question for international usage through VPNs, if anybody here needs a one-on-one, wants to cruise, wants to see, we'd be happy to host a private Zoom. Obviously we can't record it because it has customer information, but if anybody wanted to kind of see how we flow, we would be happy to do so, because the community has given us so much. We would be happy to pay it forward and help other brokers who are on the fence. Do I do it? Do I not? Come, let me serve you some Kool-Aid. You'll be fine.
We're so
Yeah.
funny. We think we're
It's
funny.
me.
I do have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So there is the fees that you can and cannot shop for. So when you initially do your initial disclosure, you put in all the numbers then. For some reason, at the last submission, when I printed it out, it didn't have the numbers there. So I went back to the form to generate and print it again, and the date came out, the date that I actually did the regenerate instead of the date of the initial disclosure. Is there a way that we can tweak that? I did talk to someone there about that. They were going to look into it, but yeah.
So I probably got not completely clear, but maybe this is another something we can look at offline if you are having some specific challenge in the dates being printed. So disclosures are fairly new to the platform. So if you suspect something is off, let us know. So maybe this is another thing we can take offline. Is that okay? So
it's perfect for me. That's the reason why I came on. I just wanted to make sure to address that, because it was like 2 weeks ago that I mentioned to someone in the chat, and they said that they were going to submit it for to be updated.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, so we as I said, we are building this community and a process. How do we get all these enhancements? So if you already have a request, it'll be somewhere. It'll get done. I promise.
Okay.
It's a matter of scheduling when it gets done. So
sounds good.
So if it is in the system, it'll be taken care of. So
okay.
I have a question here. Rana?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is more pertaining to advertising. I think I reached out a few times, and this is regarding any implementation of scripts and tags. We're in the middle of switching from Blink to ARIVE as well, and there's a lot of tools that we need to implement so that we can track our cross-domain and all of that. I have reached out a few times, but I haven't gotten a clear answer. Is there someone in your team that is specifically assigned to these efforts?
So maybe if you could clarify, are you trying to put Google Analytics or some kind of tracking into your
I mean, we can do all of that, by just dropping our Google container,
Yes.
The rest of the tags can be implemented behind the Google container. That's no problem. But as long as we have access to that, that would be great.
So yeah, so we researched that. It's for next year, like when another POS enhancement. So you'll be able to put your Google, key, if you will. So it's not happening. I would say Q1 end would be the time if you're looking at that. But yeah, if you get more requests for give me tracking. So our POS completion rates are very high. If you give an app, we track that. We have a tag manager internally. So they're like 95% or 90% is if the app goes out. So,
Yeah.
but if you believe it will give you some value, like you're trying to track, typically completion rates are what all brokers are looking for. Like I sent an app, how many came through, how many did not come through, where was a drop off. But if there are other use cases you can educate us on, we are happy to look into adding more marketing tracking.
Do we have a timeline for that? Because obviously that kind of, it would be like doing advertising, blindly, because I wouldn't be able to track everything, especially if we're doing programmatic. Just because I'll have to track the conversions and all of that. So switching from Blink to this platform, I would just be doing it blindly.
Okay, so let me ask you, does Blink support that? If I may ask?
I was one of the first people that went directly to UWM and had the team implement that for us actually early on. But then I guess they started getting a bunch of people trying to do the same, and they kind of stopped that. So,
but you can be a first for us also. So maybe we'll take this up with you, like what exactly your use cases, and then. So I've noted your name. Maybe Oscar will try to connect offline. So
thank you very much.
But these are great ideas. I think as it was mentioned, post these on our Facebook group. Like I'm sure some brokers will come up and say, you know what, did you know? I also don't know solutions. Our community comes up. Did you try this? Did you try that?
Right.
So I would highly encourage join and post this. Like how do you do, like marketing campaigns you're talking about, where you can track who came on and you want to cross market to them. So.
We have Sean has been waiting with his hand up. Sean, what's your question?
Hey Mo, hey Tashara. Hi. So I'm on that fence, right? I've been using Point for 20 years. And what scares me is when I get in, and I'm not trying to be negative, but when I get in the Facebook page, I want to plug and play. I want to jump in, I want to go. And I keep seeing all the, hey, what about if we change this? How about if we change that? What about if we update that? I don't want to jump in, take all my files, go into something, and then next week, I can't find where something that I spent, I'm a one-man shop, so I don't want to spend time trying to figure out where something changed and then have to be stuck going to Facebook or going to classes. I guess what I'm saying is there going to be a point when ARIVE just says, we've perfected our LOS, or is it just going to be ever evolving to be more and more? Because I don't have time to not know how to take an application.
I'll answer for you, Sean, because I know that we're the same, where we are responsible for about 90, in your case, 100% of the file. I will tell you, I can hear your concern for the ever evolving, but rest assured that those intricate pieces that are being improved are minuscule on the grand scale of it. So your 1003 format should remain the same. Everything is tabbed out on the left hand of your screen. With their updates, they also release a video, they release a template of what they've improved, and then we can easily look for it, like, hey, by the way, now you can swap and you don't have to delete from the credit report, yada yada. I'll tell you that all of the implementations that have been made have been complete improvements. Nothing like Calyx, where they think they're patching something and then it's a mess. So rest assured, at least from my viewpoint, I hear what you're saying, and I understand, but I don't believe that is anything that should create such a concern that you wouldn't come over to ARIVE, because the changes that they make are like a little button here, a little button there.
Right, it's nothing major. It's nothing major. Like how Calyx was going through all that stuff in the beginning when they're trying to come out with the new the 3.4, like how they just couldn't get. It's nothing like that. It's just little things to make it better, like being able to click a button and copy the credit report ID number to be able to put it into DU or whatever. Just like little things like that. Nothing major. And like I'll be completely honest, completely 100% honest. I have yet to take a training class for ARIVE.
Me either.
What? Sorry, Harish and Brianna, but I haven't. But I mean, I just hope that just shows you that it's not hard to learn. And I even did my own refinance, and I sent myself the link because I wanted to see how it would be for our clients. And I mean, it was just so super duper easy to fill out that app. So I completely get you. It's a big deal to go over to something new and like and especially an LOS, because that's what we use for everything. So that's why I was stuck with crappy point for 17 years, because I was just so afraid, and I had so much information in there, and I didn't want to learn something else over again and then find out it didn't work and have to go switch to something else. Because before I went to ARIVE, we tried out Flowify for a little bit, but we still were working through point, but we're just trying to like see. And for me, Flowify, we didn't like it. And so I mean, I completely get what you're saying, but I really feel like with ARIVE, I mean, we haven't even taken a training class yet. And I mean, I have both of my processors, myself. I mean, we just kind of like got in, and I mean, it's pretty simple to figure out, and like with those more complex problems or like, those one-off things or whatever, that's when you're going to see those questions in the ARIVE group. And that's, so I hope that helped a little bit.
No, Mo and Tashara, of course it helped. I needed to hear that. I mean, I did. My fear is to be sitting here and not know how to take an application.
No, it won't be like that. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Sean, just like we did that private session for that other training that we did together, feel free to reach out. I'll let
you're gonna get tired of me. So
okay, well then you can call me too then.
All right.
I know.
You can tag team us.
Okay. Thanks a lot. That's what I needed to hear. I'm doing the trial right now. I've been playing around with it. I'm doing the trial right now. My goal is January. Everything that's going to close first quarter is going to be in ARIVE. So yeah,
I say do it. I think you're gonna love it. Honestly, I just can't stop saying enough about it. And you would think I'm getting paid by ARIVE to like tell you guys, but I'm not.
I am.
Harish, we're gonna have to talk. No, honestly, and like I even said this in Vegas too when I spoke about ARIVE Infused, because I swear everybody probably thought I was paid to be there, but I'm just very passionate about it because like it really did change my business. It really, really did.
100%, especially for you, Sean. That's a one-man shop.
Yes.
Appreciate.
Wow. You definitely will.
Yeah. Yes. Out of just the one window.
Mo's right.
So, yeah.
Mo's completely right.
Thank you.
I'll also add one statement, Sean, just from a evolution perspective. So we have a lot of users who run their business on ARIVE. That's a big responsibility as we see it. 6,000 loan officers, thousands and thousands of brokers. So stability is the main focus area. Even if we ship any enhancement, it goes through large amount of testing, verification, migration, validation. So because, and that's the reason some big features like APIs are getting deferred out, because if the system is not stable, adding a feature doesn't add any value. That's how we see it. So anything we ship, so the core LOS, as both of these ladies mentioned, it's not changing. It's be like this. It's pretty solid. But as we add more features, tracking tasks and pipes, so they're more like add-on, if you will, if they're not going to disrupt like application 1003, AUS, credit. So those are the core bedrock of how the LOS works. They'll remain like this for the foreseeable future. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Welcome.
All right. So Kyle, you still have your hand raised. Do you mean to ask another question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I'm in the admin organization info. And we got this TRID date config. Use TRID date as NMLS app date. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, that's a poor language choice, frankly. And I'll take that unless someone has this. So we used to do this call reports, and the original design was once we get the 6 bits of information, those files were NMLS reportable, if you will, but we heard from Texas and other states like, no. If I doing a pre-call, if I'm doing a credit pull,
right,
I want to track them as NMLS callable, if you will, files. So that flag was added. It's your discretion. If you check that, only apps that have 6 bits of information will be reported to consumer and NMLS. If you leave it off, which should be default, that means your pre-calls and credit pulls will also be pulled into your call reports. And again, we have no opinion what is right or wrong. We're just giving you options.
Yeah.
So, but is that clear enough? Like, do you want your pre-calls or credit pulls to be in call reports or not? That's what that option is. So, and it's poorly labeled, so I apologize. I think we should get that fixed. So.
Do you see what I mean? They're constantly trying to update and make things better. Like, I really do feel like Harish and his team like are just trying to, make the broker world better and improve every day. Like they're just trying to improve. So like he keeps saying, like it's nothing, like they're not improving the actual process. All they're doing is making like fine-tune improvements to make it easier for us to like, hurry up and get through an application and submit it.
That's true.
Thank you, ladies. We have a message or a question from John. John, you can ask away. You have to unmute yourself first, John.
Oh, how about now? Okay. Sorry. I do have my website up and running now, and I need to know, I'm probably going to leave that in my dealings with my borrowers to leave blank available, but my website is up and running, and I need to probably have my ARIVE landing protocol. Where do I get that? And can somebody help me with that? Or I need to just talk to LO support?
Oh,
I haven't done that for myself yet, so I can't even answer that question.
yeah, and I have a landing page that's mothemortgagelady.com, and I just had it redirected to my ARIVE. So when I give out I'm serious. Like I'm all about making it as simple as possible.
Me
so
too.
When people are like, hey, what's your website? Or hey, how do I fill out an app? I'm like, go to mothemortgagelady.com, and it takes you straight to my ARIVE app. So I don't know what that's called because I'm not techie. But I guess it's landing and then it gets redirected. So I don't know if that helps you, but I don't know.
Okay, so I should just chat to loan support and have them redirect my landing page on my website to ARIVE.
Well, yeah, because so my website designer, she asked me what if I wanted like a page, which it sounds like what you have. So you have a page. So you just have to make sure that your apply here or apply now or whatever words you're using, that when your customers or future customers click that, it just redirects to your ARIVE app. So you just have to give them the link that you would give a customer. It's the same. It's the very same one.
Okay, I got it. Let me talk with them. Thank you so much.
All right, if anybody else has a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey, can I go back to the automated emails real quick? I'm in here and I'm trying to edit and turn on and turn off the automated emails. And let me just give you a specific, maybe you guys can walk me through real quick, where when the client submits the application, I need it to go to my entire team so that everybody, somebody can hop in and pull the credit, because right now they've just been coming to me and I've been forwarding them out. But I've been going in and trying to add the group email to everybody. I've just been adding the group email on every template. Which one specifically do I need to be editing? Like, for example, under the loan application submission email, there's two. There's one that's a notification to borrower when app is submitted with task. Then there's another one that's notification to borrower when loan app is submitted. Like, which one's going to the borrower? Which one? There's one that comes to me as a loan officer, and I don't even see it on here.
It sounds to me like what you need to do is create the right functions for your team. So what you're going to do, if I'm understanding you correctly, you have the capability of creating who the loan officer is and then the support staff thereafter. And if I don't have ARIVE up right now, but I believe there's 3 spots. So you could create LO processor and then I think an LOA, I'm not sure. But it sounds like that's what you need, because what happens there is that when someone fills out your link, that email then comes to the LO and copied to whomever you dictated to be your team members, but you have to do it from your user settings because it's user specific per loan officer.
That's what it is, because right now I'm in company settings.
Yeah, so you have to do it specific per loan officer. So if you're, so if all loans that come with Marshall's link, then ABC persons need to be included as a team for all loans that are associated to you.
Gotcha. Or so I need to go into my personal settings and build it out, or I can send out my company link.
Correct. And then in the company side, you can also do round robin if you're not the only LO, and if it's a generalized, like a company lead or something that isn't specific to the loan officer, there's also a section there that will allow you to do round robin as well.
That's what I needed to know. So how do I see the reminders? So I'm in company settings right now. How often does the client get the reminder, and how do I adjust that?
Brianna.
So the adjustment is not if I'm, so you.
Oh, yeah,
it is
it's
sent
five.
five times at this point, and that adjustment is not available at this point, I believe. So it'll automatically every morning for 5 business days, excluding weekends, send these reminders, if that makes sense. So
Yes. So five times, that 5 days in a row, and that's all they're getting.
that's all they're getting at this point, correct? And I think the other question you asked is also a good question. So once the app is taken, you can ask for documents or not ask for documents. Those are the 2 emails I believe you were asking about. Like there were, confirmation without documents and with documents. So if you're inviting borrowers, and you can actually switch off documents. A lot of our broker owners don't want to collect documents. They want to review the app before they ask anything. That's your discretion. So that's why there are 2 templates. If you want documents, you can say, hey, give me these docs and all that. And if you don't want these docs, that's the other template for.
Gotcha.
Yep. But good question. I think great question. So
cool. No, thank you guys.
They're all great questions.
And girls. So
Girls, yeah, we have about 2 minutes left in our session. If you have a question, please unmute yourself. Or you can feel free to email support@arrive.com and we can help you further, but feel free to unmute yourself and vocalize what's going on.
And not only that, if you guys want to email either Mo or myself directly or chat directly, because I mean, sometimes it's easier to talk to another loan officer because we understand. I mean, I know Mo is the same as myself. Like we don't mind.
Yeah.
Maybe Brianna can put our email addresses down there or something.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies.
Sure.
Right, yes, I'm definitely going to be giving both of you a call. This is Sam. I had a question. Is there training available for the different features like the email templates, what Marsha was just talking about? I had no idea that feature was available until yesterday. I have to give kudos to Lisa out in Arizona, Lisa Lund. She went through it with me and I could not believe it. So it was a game changer for me. So it's a great platform, but we need to know in the broker community how to use these things.
Yes, so we do have training videos available. If you go to arrive.com, you will see a support link up at the top in the middle. Click on that, make sure that you're logged in, and then just look for the big button to the right of the screen. It's called Training and Webinar Videos. And it's under Arrive, Understanding Arrive in 3 minutes or less. You'll see there's about 3 to 4 pages full of quick informational videos to help you navigate the platform.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And if there's ever a video that we don't have, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll get it created and put onto that training site.
And one of the other things we are working on, it will be ready by Q1, is having a short library of simple questions. Our videos are rather long. That's the feedback we have gotten. You have to watch the whole thing. So we have some snippets done, but by next year, we'll have a more library of these quick videos, like how do I set my templates and how do I change? So that's kind of where we are headed, by early next year, Q1 of next year. So
Wonderful.
All right, so go ahead, Brianna. We are almost on time here. So.
All right. Yep, we are 4 o'clock. So if anybody has a question, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I popped a couple links in. This will be recorded and we have a YouTube channel that we'll be posting it on. If you are not on Facebook and in our group, make sure you go to Arrive Mortgage Brokers on Facebook. Great way to ask questions, get feedback, get to know the community. And of course, email support@arrive.com with any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you
Thanks
guys.
for coming, you guys.
Thank you, Tashara. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Have a happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday. Bye.
Thank you. Happy Thursday.
Oh, I